I am so grateful. Thank you for this opportunity. So, let me start with my name. Amy is a short, is actually called Ami because
Army. Wow.
my name is Wamaka, and people call the last part of the name Amaka. So a lot of people
Mhm.
just say Ami. So that's how that name came to be. So I'm from West Africa, Nigeria, and I am based out of Dallas, Texas. Yeah. So, how did I become a licensed financial professional?
Mhm.
It's a very long story, but I'll just cut it short. So, I have a career path and I do business analysis and project management, which is IT. Now, and it's so intentional that we're talking about purpose. So when I came into this country, I actually came because I wanted to take care of my mom. That was the main reason. Before then I'll come, go back like that, have my kids, just I have my business back home. So, and I was working also, but I had to come because of my mom. And a lot of things happened. Maybe I would talk about some as we talk. I will maybe borrow some stories from her story, which is what pushed me into what I'm doing today.
Mhm.
So she was a very, like most moms, she was like a pillar, a strong pillar in the family. And as time went on, she was diagnosed with a terminal illness that actually eventually took her life. God bless her soul. I miss her so much, because she taught me a lot of things, and I happen to be like her only daughter. So we were really very close. So when that happened, and I, the way the family, I don't want to use the word declined, but it affected us so badly. I started asking myself questions that what happens when you are not able to be there for the family? Finances is, whether you like it or not, finance plays a major, major role in the growth of a family. Major role. A lot of people shy away from talking about finance, maybe because of, I don't want to be looked at somebody that's saying money, money things. See, finance is the bedrock, is one of God. It's like an umbrella. We have our maker, we have us, the family. But there's one major thing that the family needs to thrive on, which is finance. So I'm still talking about myself. So that was what pushed me, and when I have a mentor, so when she came to me and was telling me about the financial industry, I said, I never had that idea. Because whenever I hear finance, the only thing I think about is money. So I
Mm.
want to know if I'm strange. Is there anybody that thinks like me that whenever you hear finance, the first thing you think about is money? Do I have anybody like me here? Right? When you hear
You,
finance, your
you
mind
all
just goes
think
straight
about
to, oh,
money. That's what I
it's
was telling
money,
my
yes.
people. I was telling my people, you are thinking all about money. You're supposed also to
Mhm.
think when you get this more money, how do you manage it? I was trying to prompt them
Exactly.
on what is coming because when you hear finance,
Exactly.
all comes to your mind is money, making money, making
It
money.
has to be money. So I just want to be sure that we're together. If you're here and anytime you hear finance, you think about money, let me hear me in the chat, or money. Or if there's something else you think about, that's when you hear finance, what comes to your mind? Yeah, I see someone say savings. Awesome. I tell you, you are you are the real deal. you know, I hear peace of mind. Wow, awesome. You see these people, they are not like me. Oh. Coach, you have wonderful people here. because for me of those days, when I hear money, when I hear finance, the first thing that comes to me is, hey, is money. But I tell you, for every word you have put in the chat, you are totally right. The person that said peace of mind and savings, Coach, please, can you use the clap emoji for me, please? That is awesome for you to have that mindset. Wonderful. But you see, this lady here, as of 2023, because I started the business fully in 2023. Yes. So my mindset was all about money, money, money. But that's not what it is. That is not what it is. So if you see my eye divert, I have notes that I have put on my system so I don't, lose track, because sometimes I can tell stories and forget that there's timing. So I
Yes.
don't start telling all those
It
stories.
can happen. It can happen.
Forget the timing. Yes. So now the question is finding purpose in finance. That's the topic. Finding purpose in finance. And some of us have said finance is peace of mind. Me, I said money, which I'm about to tell you what has changed. Yes. So what exactly is purpose in my own plain language? I know Coach has done a very good job all this while telling us purpose, is my why. That is for me. It is my why. Why am I here? Why was I made? You understand? Thank you, Coach. You're thinking about the why factor. Sometimes you say, what is your purpose with this business? That is your why. In my business, when we have seminars, we have something that we say your big why. So everybody comes to tell your big why. You understand? For me, my big why was I saw my family go through that decline because we lost somebody that was a major person, contributor financially, and her not being there affected the family badly. So my big why was, how do I help my own family that they don't go through the same thing, that we build a structure that is able to survive even when one person is not there. That was my big why. So for purpose in finance, you're talking about your big why, your purpose. Why do you even need finance as a person? Is it just to provide your daily needs? No, even okay, let's even talk about the money thing. Is it just to pay rent, pay mortgage, or build the house, buy land, or buy clothes, make sure the children go to the good schools? I need to know, why should there be a purpose in finance? Why? Is finance something that we should be purposeful about? Is it even worth creating a whole big purpose? Okay. For me, my basis, I don't know. I know we have different religions. I'm not here to talk about religion. We're talking about finance. But for me, I'm a Christian and I read the Bible for me. So there's a scripture that I like, which is in Proverbs 11:25 rather. It says, the one who blesses others is abundantly blessed, and those who help others are helped. So what I'm about to tell us today, before we dive in, is that the purpose of finance is not for the now. It's not just for you. It's just like your gift. It's just like what God has placed inside of you. Is anything you have control of. Always remember, this is not about me. It's about what is coming. It's about the next generation. It's about the next person before, close to me. It's about Coach. It's about faith. It's about love girl. It's about healthy habits. Do you understand? Our coach here has the gift of, helping people discover their purpose. She could have just discovered her purpose and closed the chapter and move on. But no, purpose is about impact. And that's the same thing when there is a purpose in finance. It's the impact you're going to make with your finance. What impact am I going to make with my finance? What am I going to do with my finance? For me, I looked at the pillar, the person that was responsible for our financial growth, all of a sudden got diagnosed and left this world. And that vacuum was empty. Then I sat down and I asked myself, so if this can happen, and if this kind of a thing repeats itself, how do we make sure we are not in that same situation? How do we make sure that we are above that situation? And I told myself, yes, there must be a structure for finance that will help trickle down in the family. There's a book I love so much. It says, what would the Rockefellers do? If you look at that family, they created generational wealth, even for the ones that have not been born. So I came to that realization that there must be something. There must be a structure. There must be a way to do it that is not just about the assets. Now, I'm not talking about you buying houses and all those. I'm talking about how are we able to structure this that it flows down so that if things like this happen again, which always happens, we lose loved ones. When they are old, they go, yes. But there are times that they go even before they are ready to, or we are prepared for it. Do you get that? I'm just coming from my own experience and how this financial journey kicked off for me. And I told myself, this is what most families experience. Even in our communities, even while we were growing up, you hear things like, oh, I couldn't go to school anymore. Why? Because I lost my dad, or because somebody lost a job, or because financial situations just changed. Oh, this is what I wanted to be, but I had to take the next option. Why? Because I could not, there was no finance to back it up. So we're talking about the purpose and finance. Now, with everything I've said, what will we say is the purpose of finance? Let's start from the family. The purpose of finance in the family is to keep the flow. It's not just for the first generation. It's not just for the second generation. It's to keep the flow. And when I mean the flow, I mean that knowledge of finance. I mean that knowledge of finance, the knowledge of the structure that we are built down. I had the live section and I asked a question. I said, what would you have done differently as a child or as a growing adult? Is there a word like growing adult, or as a youth? Okay.
Yeah,
What
growing
would,
youth.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What would you have done differently? Or what different action would you have taken that would have helped you become a better person financially today? I heard so many things, but for me, I told them, I wish I had that financial conversation about multiple streams of income while I was growing up. Because for me, while I was growing up, it was all about get good grades, get a job, make sure you work,
What you
get
can
good grades,
strengthen.
get a job, work. But I thought to myself, if I had been lectured that, hey, you do not, it is almost a taboo. I'm using that word because that is the world we are today. To just do only one thing that gives you money. It is almost a taboo. Because if that one thing you're doing is to work for somebody, then that time, that joy, financial joy, is actually in that person's hand. And what if the person wakes up today and say, hey, I'm done, go?
Go away, yeah.
Yes, because the person can, no matter how good you are. There's something they say in corporate America. There's nobody that is irreplaceable. Don't think I know this thing too well. Nobody can replace
No.
me. Forget.
Forget about
That's a
it.
big, you're just deceiving yourself. So that was me growing up. That was one part of me that I wish I had that knowledge. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now we're talking about that purpose in finance. You're talking about how to make sure that there's financial stability. You're talking about I have my values. You're talking about I have my purpose. I have discovered what I'm on earth to do. Now, the next point of action is how do I bring this thing to life? How do I work with this purpose? And of course, you need push. You need finance. You need resources to make sure your purpose becomes what it is. If you say, I have been made to help the youth, I have been made to help women who are battling with domestic violence. How do you do that? You need resource, and your resource can be in two ways. You need financial resource and you need human resource. Sometimes when you have that financial resource, you can buy human resource.
That's very true.
Am I communicating? So in purpose, you cannot shy away from the aspect that you need that finance to push your purpose, to bring it to pass. You know, there are times that you might not even have finance, but you have people, right? You have people you can tap from. You have that woman, you know. In my
have
dialect,
people who can help you. You can help you push you in another level. You might not have finance, but you have people and they're able to see what you are doing. Because if they're not able to see what you are doing, then you are stuck.
Yes.
But if you have financial, you can buy those people to do the work.
Yes, to do the work. Then you put them on your clock. So you see what all they're saying. So what is even the first step? The first step is everything coach has been teaching on finding your purpose. Listen, I noted something down that, you know, when I was reading, the thing just touched me. You understand? And I think I noted it down somewhere. It says that money is the tool. Money is not the purpose. Money is actually the tool to drive that purpose. So let me tell you, it's not by getting money first. Do you understand? Because sometimes you say, this purpose they are talking about, I don't even have money. How am I going to be talking about purpose when there's no money? But you know that for you to be intentional about your finance, your purpose needs to be in your perspective. Don't mind me.
Because you can have the finance and then you don't have a purpose. So you end up wasting your money.
I'm telling you. And coach, it's not that you don't have a purpose. You don't know, because everybody has a purpose. You do not know. So because of that, everything that comes in your light looks like purpose. There's money. So everything that comes, every idea, you say, okay, this can be, okay, I can, yes, this one, you know, but that's not how it works.
So Emmy, as you go on, because I know you can talk, how do I align my financial decisions with my life purpose and value? Because at least we have covered what is true purpose of money in my life. You have touched about it as a tool. But now, how do you do it? How do you align your financial decision with your life purpose and value?
Okay, I would say this. The first thing, like you've said, you found out your purpose. Now you want to align it with your finances. Number one, you have to be intentional. You have to know that this is, you're telling yourself that, hey, this is where I'm going. You have to ask yourself a question. What I'm spending on, aside, and when I say what I'm spending on, I'm not talking about, yeah, when I'm talking about what I'm spending on, I don't mean the basic things like food, shelter, those are basic needs, right? Your food, your shelter, those are things that must be there that you need to move on. So when I'm talking about
So,
things you're spending on, I'm not referring to your basic needs. Basic needs of food, you need them to survive. Shelter, you need it to survive. So
yes.
so other things that you are spending on, are you intentional about it? Is it, since you know your purpose, is it moving you towards your purpose? That's how you know you are aligned. Am I moving a step on to my purpose? It doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean that you might just, purpose in finances and purpose does not mean perfection. It just means that you're taking those steps. You know, it doesn't mean that you've gotten everything right 100%. It doesn't mean that you are totally aligned. You've gotten it. Yes, I've arrived. I've gotten where I need to be. No, it just means that you know your purpose. Coach, permit me. Let me use this analogy. You know that what God has made me to be is to provide. Maybe I have that gift to provide. I know how to use herbs. I know how to, use what's it called, like fruits to make people feel better. And I've told myself that is my purpose. So I will want to have a holistic care outlet where people can come and receive holistic care, apart from going to the hospital. If you say, let's say you say, okay, that is my purpose. Now, how do you align your finance with that purpose? You know that is where you're going to. Even I'm a Bible girl, oh, I'm sorry. So most times you hear me refer to the scriptures. It
Which
says,
is good.
it says, write the vision, make it plain. Habakkuk says, anyone that sees it will run with it. So anybody that meets you are able to say, this is this person's vision. Wow. You are not there yet, but your vision is made plain, is made clear. Everybody should have objectives, mission statements. When you go to work for a company, you have a mission statement that you should have it as an individual that is living a purposeful life. You get what I'm saying? So coach asked me, how do I align my financial decisions with my life purpose? You have made your purpose clear to yourself, because there are still some people that are living in confusion. They don't even understand. Do you get?
Very true.
So your first step is make sure that purpose is clear to yourself. If I wake you up 10, 12 midnight in the night and say, hey, coach, what do you think is your vision in life or your purpose? You are able to tell me in clear language. You get what I mean? I came on this life and I started to tell you people my why I am going through the financial journey. I've not gotten there yet. I still have mentors I look up to, but my purpose is clear. So when you do that, you have it clear. Even the family you have understand it. They know. Then you are running with that vision. Then it's easy to align finances to it. When you are doing things outside your basic needs, outside settling your kids if you have one, outside your own food, shelter, clothes, all those things. Any other thing, if somebody comes to tell you that, hey, I want you to come and invest in trucking, will you do it? No, because you know where you're heading to. I want to have an holistic care place where people can come and receive. That is my mission. That is my purpose. My finances are aligned. Anything I do. So anything I do is moving me towards there. Another thing, read books, research. Because you see that purpose because you see that purpose that you're running after, there's somebody in that line. It's not new.
It's not
Somebody
new.
is doing something similar. Research. And one thing I will add there, document your journey if you can. Have it documented. Let me say something. From where I come from, they call us the Igbos and they say Igbo people like money. Now, I want to say something. You see why I said document your journey? Because you see that thing you have written down, it can also become a part of way for you to build wealth in this present age. Why? Let me explain it. In this present age, people monetize gifts. People monetize experience. I was in a platform where there was a woman that waited 7 years before she had a baby. And she said when she did some kind of, she did IVF, everything failed. Then she said she became so intentional. She started walking towards it, reading books, doing this, doing that. And at the end, by the mercies of God, she was able to have a baby. Not because of the things she did. But people started coming to her. How did you remain sane? How did you help yourself? Because it's not easy. When I hear this, I feel like going crazy. People are coming to her and saying, how did you do it? Then people will call her 2 hours. She'll go to church, talk to waiting women. Then one day, her friend said, no, sit down, put these things together, put them in a book and put them out there and let people buy them. Are you looking at that? Now, she said, from my experience. So, from my experience, God made it clear to me that my purpose is to stand in the gap for people waiting for children. And what became one of her resources, her experience that she documented, it became a tool. People will buy it. Buy it. You understand? People will buy it and she will use the money to sponsor the NGO. You see what I mean? Finance. You need money. So, coach, that's one way. That's how you can align. You have to make it clear. You have to make it open. You have
Thank
to
you
make
everybody
it
for being here. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you are liking the live stream. You're also sharing to everybody. If you have questions, please write them down so that as you get to the end of the session, you will be able to ask and you'll be able to answer. We will be able to answer. You told me, Amy. I call you Amy. I like it when it's Amy. I hope you are comfortable.
Okay. So, oh my goodness, call me anyone.
How do I grow wealth without compromising integrity, faith, or family values?
Okay. That answer is very, very obvious because how do you grow wealth without compromising? Coach, in this present world, a lot of compromise. We hear a lot of things happen, right? Even in the news, when you turn on the news, you hear that, oh, this wealthy person was here and there. And people start saying things like, oh, when you are rich, you must have done something bad. Have you heard something like that? How can somebody have all this money? You've done something.
It's not possible for him to be wealthy like that.
Thank you.
She's doing something. She must have.
This is me, my African mentality state. You know how people will say, I want to, maybe 2 friends are talking and say, I wish I can just be like this lady, have money like this. And the next person will be like, do you know what this person has done to get there? Mind what you wish for. I don't know, has anybody heard such thing before? Or is me just being African?
It happened.
It happens a lot. But I tell you, like I said before, you as a human being have your own principles. State your own principles. Okay, when you go to a company to work, the first thing they give you is their mission statement. The first thing they tell you is the company culture. So remember, if you do anything against company culture, you get a strike, you get a query, you can even get sacked. For me,
That's true.
in my line of business, my number one principle I'll tell you, if I'm in a conversation with a client, I do life insurance. And the type of life insurance we do these days is not the type that we did in the old, that the only thing people think about when they hear life insurance is when somebody passes. No,
Yeah.
there have been improvements. There have been improvements in a way that you can leverage it as an investment tool. You can leverage it as a way to create generational wealth. It has been tested and proven over the years and time. And I'm also doing it for myself and my family, so I can speak on it. Now, back to the question. If I'm sitting with a client, I made it my principle. I will not think about the money I'm making first. It's about the client. So let's say there's a policy type, there's a product that if this client, I don't want to use purchase because I'm not a salesperson. I'm an educator when it comes to life insurance. So let's say if the client says, okay, this is the product I want to go with, even if that product is going to give me more money, but I've looked at everything about this client, this product doesn't fit you. It doesn't align. Looking at the family size, looking at what you have told me, because I ask you questions.
Yes.
What I have deduced from you based on my experience with other clients. And I'll look at it, I'm like, no, this product is not what you should be doing. But because if I do it, there's more money, then I'll tell you, yes, go ahead. Yes, let's do it. My integrity has been, I have broken down integrity. I have thrown my ethics through the back door.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting that. Because sometimes we think of making money. We don't think as humans, does this fit them? Yeah, we are after money. But once you decide to make sure that you take the person first before the money, then we'll be in the right direction. Thank you for sharing that. Maybe you're talking about finance. You're talking about insurance. I'm getting there. That is the next question I'm asking you. How does finance planning help me protect my family in the future? We are talking about emergency savings. We are talking about insurance because you have touched on insurance. We are talking about investing to ensure family safety because most of the time you deal with families, right?
Yes.
You are passionate about family, yes.
Yes, I deal with families, and in fact, the company where I practice from, our watchword is helping families. No family left behind. That's what we say. But sometimes it's easier to say them through words. That's where that integrity comes in. I don't know why I'm going back to that word, but I tell you, as a purpose-driven person, if you're here, you call yourself a purpose-driven person, integrity comes before gain. Let me use that word. Integrity before gain. Who you are before gain. Ethics before gain. Please. Before gain, because a good name will always supersede all that. People will refer you, even where you're not there. People will talk about you. People will say, have you seen this person? Have you heard about this person? Integrity. I'm sorry, I go back to the Bible.
That's okay. That's good. We are Christian.
Good. Do you know the life of Joseph and his gifts? He
Mhm.
wasn't there, but somebody talked about him that, oh, when is it the butler? He said, oh, I
Mhm.
remember my guilt today. I met this
Mhm.
young man in the prison. He has the wisdom of God, integrity. So, what am I saying? Even in rooms where you are not, your name will be mentioned. So while we're doing all that business, while we're building finance, building generational wealth, always remember that I'm thinking your purpose is for the next person. So whatever you are doing, you're making sure that you're not putting that next person in harm just for your own gain.
Mhm.
You know, you're somebody, you sell food. Maybe you're selling food produce. You know that food is not going to last. But because you
Mhm.
want to sell, let it just leave my hand. You know that product is bad, but you just want to sell it and make it. No, no, that's not finding purpose. No, 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 no,
Mhm.
no. So, and coach now asked me, how does financial planning help me protect my family future? You see this question, coach? It can take us the whole day.
I know, and that's why I keep on shortening you when you are going.
Yes, it can take us the whole day. You know why? Yes. So let's talk about the different ways that we plan and think about it. When you're talking about future, you're talking about security. You're talking about a lasting structure. You are not short-sighted. You're not just looking at today. You know, it might be something you have to build over time. Then you start yielding. Then you start earning. It might not be, it might not be get rich quick scheme.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. Let me even, a lot of people lost money, I think, some time back based on some businesses that came. It was all over TikTok, I guess. you know,
Mhm.
because why? Because there's this urge in every human. I just want to make money fast. You bring a business proposal to somebody, the next thing is, when do I start making money? It's okay to ask that. But when you're talking about financial planning that will protect the family's future, I tell you, it is something that is built over time.
Mhm.
Now, if I have anybody here that you just want to save and just put the money in your account and just be looking at it and say, hey, I have 30,000. Then you have another, and that money should just be sitting there. You don't want anything to touch the money. You just want to be
Mhm.
secured within that money. I hope I don't have I used to be
Yeah,
like
getting what
that
you're
though.
saying.
You just want to have you put it in that savings, and that savings is just giving you 0.01 interest. You don't mind because you're not ready to take risk. The risk part is not there. You don't want to take that risk. Then you know what? You're not ready for future. Because you see that money you're keeping there, the 30,000, the 40,000. In the future, that money is almost like 5,000. Why? Because there's
It keeps
inflation.
on going down.
The inflation is there.
It loses the value.
It loses value. That's money. That's why they say money, you must put your money in a bucket or portfolio where it can actually grow. Now, let me just explain. There are three types of portfolios. We have the fixed. The fixed is what I just talked about. Your money is safe. No risk, nothing is in the account. What you put is what you get, and maybe a little change.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? That is fixed. We have another bucket we call the variable. Now, the variable, you say, okay, let me say this. For the fixed, I'm not against it, though. I'm not. But what I'm against is the fact that your money is a tool that must work for you. You don't glance on money and be looking at it like this. It has to be it has to be doing its job. And the job of money is to work for you. Money should grow. It's something that should grow.
When you put in the right channels, when you get the right person to tell you the right things also.
And there's risk involved. Now we explain the variable bucket.
Yes.
Now that variable bucket is where we have our stocks, our 401k, our Roth IRA, fantastic channels of investment. Fantastic. You invest in the stock market. Fantastic. I tell you, I'm not against it. But you know the thing, you need to know the pros and the cons. Now, when you put your money in all those things, I don't know, maybe there are people that are not in the US here. We have stocks everywhere in the world. You buy stocks from companies. Yes. So we have all those mutual funds. We have a lot. We have high yield savings. We have all those things outside. I'm just trying to, because I've not been outside the US for a while. So most of the time, if I'm making reference, I just want to apologize. If I'm making reference to the ones I have around me. So you're putting yes, we have those stocks. You're putting your money in those, what's that?
Thank
I'm
you.
trying to read too. Let's see the sounds late. Okay. So, you're putting your money in the variable buckets, and those variable buckets, what happens? They work based on the market. So if the market is very high today, there's no limitation to what you earn. You earn as much as what the market earns. Do you understand? That's how those are financial planning tools. Do you get? Other financial planning tools, maybe you want to put in for your children, you're planning for your children's future. You're putting in buckets that, will help them for school, for college. Because you're thinking ahead. What if anything happens to me? Does the life of my child stop? What if anything happens to me? Does the mortgage of my house stop and they will come and take over the house? What happens? Where will they live? You're thinking about all that. So those variable buckets are there. But you know what? Those variable buckets, you need to be ready to weather the risk. So let's talk about it. Thursday, the stock market went down. We all know. A lot of people lost. A lot of people lost money. It was in the red. A lot of people lost. So that is one of the risks you have to weather. You might wake up one day and
everything,
it's gone down.
it's a risk you are taking. You should be open-minded. Like, it's a risk.
Yes.
Anything can happen. Yeah.
Exactly. You might
And
wake up
most of
today.
the people who take risk, they become successful. They might fail this one, the other one. You have to take risk in life. If you don't take risk, then you don't know.
Then you don't know. You might wake up the next morning, you're on the roof, you've made all the money. Now, the last bucket I'm going to talk about is the one I love so much. The insurance, where we have the IUL and all that. Now, that one it mimics the market too. But the thing with that one is that the company is weathering the risk. Now, what that one does is that they give you a cap. And what I mean by a cap is that even if the market makes 20% interest rates, you can only get 13 because they have put a cap. You don't get above that. But the beautiful thing with that, there is a floor. Why the market is doing minus 30, minus this, minus that, you can never lose money. So what we call it is that you make money and you never lose money. So you can never ever lose money in that bucket. Never. So when the market is running at a loss, you are safe. So what am I saying? It's not bad to have the variable, but it's also make sure it's also ideal that you have that indexed one, the one that is increasing, the one that never loses. Because the only thing with that one is that you don't go above a certain rate. So if the company tells you your highest interest is 13%, while others in the market might make 20, you'll be left at 13. You know why? Because that difference is for them. They are taking the risk, because if the market falls, other people that made 13, it comes down to 0.
Even then, they're doing risk. They're also taking risk. Remember, you're not the only one taking risk. They're also the most, in fact, for them, they're taking the biggest risk more than you, because they're not dealing only with you. They're dealing with several people. So many people, yeah.
Exactly. Welcome in J Money. Welcome in everyone joining us. Please, let's tap up the screen. Yes, let's take this to 100. You guys are doing an amazing job. Let's tap up the screen. Yeah.
So thank you, Emmy, so much for sharing this information. Now, let's go to mindset. What mindset shifts and strategies are needed to change family financial history? Because mindset, you already know it's important when it comes to making these decisions.
Yeah, mindset, because we know that everything happens in the mind. In fact, we'll say, the battle of the mind. There's always that battle of the mind. Even when you want to take the risk, even when you want to say, I want to weather this risk, your mind, something will be whispering to you that, are you sure you're making the right decision? Why do you want to do this? Maybe you want to pull out some money and invest, and you say, okay, it's time for me to get my children policies because I want them to be covered for life. Then that thing tells you, why don't you save your money? Hey, if anything happens, that's a mindset. You have to shift from that survival mode to strategy. You're shifting from because the survival mode is what tells you that what if you put this money and you lose?
And most of the people live in that survival mood. Most of the people live in that survival mode. But once you have the purpose and you know exactly what you're doing and you know exactly what are the risks involved, then you will do it. You're gonna do it, yes.
Yeah. You have to just shift that mindset. Because I tell you something, a lot of names that we hear today took the risk. They took the risk. Nobody sat down, crossed their leg, and it happened. They took the risk, I tell you. So you have to be ready to say, hey, I am going to shoulder this risk. I mean, let's even talk about failing. People don't like to talk about it. Yes, we say, I reject it in Jesus' name. Yes. People don't want to talk about failing. But there are times that you do something, you find out that it doesn't work out the way you plan. Do you sit down? Do you say, hey, I'm not, invest, not be me. No, it's not me. No. You stand up and do it. You find a better way to do it. It tells you that you have added another experience. And now, what if you now have, like these days, we have a lot of coaches. We have coaches. We have people that are ready to, show you how to do things. Some of them, some of them come free. It's just like our community. I don't know how to navigate TikTok, but I came, instead of me falling into making mistakes,
research,
I'm leveraging. Yes, I'm leveraging on a coach.
In the process of researching, it can take long. You must misunderstand, you can make mistakes. But when you have a coach, they have taken everything. They are giving you shortcut to get where you want. They have done all the work. For example, you, as you talk about finance, you have done a lot. You have put together. So you're giving us the summary, which we should value, because for it to come like that, it's a long way. So coach is a shortcut. But if you want
Yeah.
to go a long way, you can do it for years and years. And
Yes.
every time things keep on developing. So a coach really helps because they do a lot of
Yeah.
research.
A coach will help you. But one thing I have seen, because the kind of business, our kind of business is a business of we recruit. I build a team. It's a team business. You're building your team. One thing with that journey is that you have to be coachable, because a lot of people are not. If you have chosen this person, there must have been something you have seen in that person that you chose to say, okay, this person can coach me. This person can tell me, okay, I'm trying to invest in this. What do you think? You have to be coachable. There are people that are on this social media. Let me say this. They had their policies, but they listen to a 3 minutes video that tells them that, hey, that policy you have is this, is that, and they stand up and go cancel that policy. Let me give us a true life story. Coach, just let me just give a true life story. There's, a team member of mine has this client that has a policy, not that big, because most of the times we do not push and say, oh, you have to get the big policy. No, you start where you are, what you can
Yes.
afford. As far as
Yes.
your family is covered, I'm good. As far as there's that coverage, we are good. So this guy had this coverage. And, we have different types of policies. We have the permanent and the term. The term is temporary and is the cheapest. So this guy had a video of saying, oh, you can never do not put your money into permanent life. It is scam, it is this, it is that. And this guy stood up and canceled this policy, and they convinced him and gave him a term policy. The term policy has no living benefit, nothing, just pure term. Now, this guy is diagnosed of an ailment. I don't want to mention the name. How the policy you had before caters for living benefits in a way that when you're diagnosed, nobody knows what can happen tomorrow. And you're not able to do things, you're not able to work. This policy actually pays you a certain percentage. It is factored in. So let's say you have a policy of 200,000, and what your monthly payment is, let's say $250 or $200 or $180 according to your age, and you have paid for only 5 months or 6 months. How much have you paid? You've not even paid up to 5,000, and something happens to you. They are telling you that they are telling you that a percentage of that 200,000 will be paid to you, up to 90%, depending on what's wrong with you. So you can imagine having a knock. Your agent knocks on your door and hands you over a check of $40,000 because something is wrong. Now you threw all that away because they told you that you should do a term and invest the rest in IRA. I'm not against investing in those buckets. Now the guy is diagnosed. You see what I'm saying? The guy has been diagnosed. What now happens? So why am I saying this? You have to be able to also do your own research. Be coachable. There are different tools that are out there. Read, do books, and when you're reading, look at advantages, disadvantages, pros and cons. Everything has its own. Even the best of the best has its own cons. So weigh it, put yourself and your family and your goals, your values, your purpose, and say, okay, which one am I drifting towards more? Is it the advantages? Then you go ahead and do it. Because I tell you, if you keep looking, hey, this one has this disadvantage, everything good out there has its own. Do you know, as good as water is, they tell you that some people have water intoxication too much. That is how life is generally. So even after Amy has finished talking, oh, Amy mentioned this, Amy mentioned that, go on your Google, go on ChatGPT, look for books, read, and say, okay, I think this works for my family. There's a saying, if you want to hide information from an average man, put it in a book. Why? Because we don't read.
We don't read. We need to read.
We just want the easy hand me down. Sit down, and even when I go for a seminar, I take notes and I read. I go back to read.
Because once you put them down, you read, you are able to remember and also take it to practice. But if you don't write, even if you write, you don't read, there's also a problem. Reading is important because this is the one which will push you to do the right things. You can never remember everything, even what you are speaking here. If people are not writing notes, they will get maybe 1.2 points. They are not going to get everything. That's why we need you again next time to come and educate more us about this.
I'll be glad to do that. I'll be glad to. And coach, one more thing, please. And when people sit before you, like I come to you and say, hey, this is what I do. I would like, do you have a life insurance? And you say no. Okay, You ask me, what company do you work for? I tell you, note it down. Go back. Read about the company. How long have they been in existence?
Exactly.
What have they done? Now the man was saying that and the company they signed me up with has a lot of lawsuits. Excuse me? Bank of America.
Negativity, when something is good, you'll never miss negativity. But when you do your own research, proper research, you'll be able to find the right.
The bank you're even banking with, go read all the lawsuits against them.
Oh my goodness, you will not.
So do your own research. And a lot of talks are going on everywhere. It's all good information. I'm on social media. I have my page. I pass out information. Take it, read, do your own research. Call up people you know. Ask them, oh, what do you think about this? Have you heard about this? Do your own research and draw your own conclusion based on your purpose, based on the goal you hope to achieve, the goal you are searching that you want to achieve is very important. Use that, to do your research and say, okay, this aligns, just like the question you asked. Then you say, okay, this aligns with where I'm going. This aligns with what I want for my kids. This aligns with what I want for my family. I can now go to do it. So anybody that questions your decision, you're saying, no, my decision is coming from this, that. You're able to speak. You're able to stand up and defend your decision because you have read and done your own research.
Thank you so much, Emmy. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody who are here. We are seeing you. You're doing a great job. Keep on liking the live stream and share to everyone. Emmy, how do I teach my children purpose-driven financial wisdom? When I'm talking about that, how do I show my children how to save, how to give, how to invest, such things?
Okay. So first of all, we know that children, it's okay for you to tell them, hey, do this, do that. But guess what? The greatest teacher for a child is what they see. Do we believe that? Do we believe that? It's what they see. How they see you handle money. How they see you make decisions on the family's finance. And most of us can get away with it when the kids are still little. But once they begin to grow and have sense and, they're able to make decisions on their own, they watch you closely. They watch how you're able to navigate financial decisions. So for one, you have to always have open conversations with kids about finances. That's one thing I think that, I don't know about you, but coming from my own end, I had all the lecture on how to be a good girl, a good wife, grow up well, hygiene, everything. But one lecture I never had was how money works, what to do. I don't know about you
Me
guys,
too.
but that's one thing I did not have growing up, because it's not just part of the manual, the manual, the growing up manual. So
Mm-mm.
I think these days we should put that, add it. Talk to your children. Tell them about how
Mhm.
multiple streams of income helps. Tell them that if mom loses her job today, the family is not going to stop. Some things might change, but hey,
Mm.
remember, I have this other stream of income. My daughter asked me one day, Mom, when is the earliest time I can get my license so I can practice the way
Mm.
you do? I said, when you turn 18, you will write the exam. Your brain is hotter than mine. So if I can pass it, then you
Mhm.
can. You will write it and you will start talking to your friends and you start building your own portfolio and money. Start, let them see it. Show it to them.
Actions.
Yes, actions. Pass down that value. Start telling them. They know. My kids know. You have mom has another job, but this one, she's so passionate about it. I do digital marketing. I do it. I do draw. I
Mhm.
do all those things. When I'm sitting down on my phone, it's easy for you to tell your child you are always on your phone. Drop your phone. What are you using your phone for? But you're always on that phone, not doing anything, just scrolling through different people's posts and all that. No, the kids are watching. Or you're on the dinner table, you're telling your child, no, but why are you talking when you're on the dinner table? Or why are you using your phone when you're on the table? But you are doing the same thing. So in the child's mind, the child will be like, look at her, this is my mommy. She tells me to do what I'm not, the same thing she's doing. So the day my daughter asked me, Mom, when can I get my license?
Mhm.
I tell us a personal story. When there was, right now, if you're in the IT space, there's a lot of shaking. People are losing jobs. A lot.
Mhm.
And at
Yes,
a
because of
point,
technology, the way it's going, yeah.
yes, and at a point, it was going to affect, it even came to where I work.
Mm.
But I was telling my daughter, I was telling her that it's okay. And she was like, hey, Mom, you don't even need to be afraid. You have this, you have that. It's not because I have it that made me smile within me, but it's because I told myself, hey, you have passed down a value. So for us, it might not be you're doing other things. Because exactly, behavior talks. If I tell you, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Some and the funny thing is that one thing we should know, that is AI should help you improve your work, not to take it from you. I'm telling you.
Thank you so much, Amy. Meaning, as parents, our practice, not just by word of mouth. Let us be example to our kids. Let the kids learn
Mhm.
from us, from our actions, You can never teach them just by telling them. Let them
Yes.
see what you are doing so that they can be able to do the best. You're
Also,
talking about,
also, coach. Also, coach, give them challenges and see how they handle money. Give them challenges. Give them just then you can, from there, from the way they work with it, you can now be able to, like, use their lessons to talk to them. You understand? And if you're here, maybe you're a grandma too. You can also do that with your grandkiddos. You know, give them challenges. Say, okay, take this money. You know how they do them in school? They give them fake money and they tell them, okay, this is assets, this is this. You do it too with them. Give them money and see how they interact, how they work with it. Then you are
Mhm.
able to know, okay, this is where I'm going to control. Because kids, I tell you, practical examples is what works more with them. Not just having that conversation like we did growing up, you know.
Mhm.
But for them these days, and I tell you, the kids of these days, they are so smart. In fact, their smartness has gone beyond. Hey God.
They can
Yeah,
challenge you. They
even
can
my
give you a
little
challenge.
even my little baby that is just coming up, sometimes I just look at her and I'm like, my goodness, is there anything in the air? What is this smartness all about? So it's now left for us to channel those smartness right. Channel it
Mhm.
and make sure they are seeing us, they are learning from us, and they are also, putting it to work.
All right. I'm going to ask you one more question because I want to see if people have questions. If you have questions, please write down because our time is expiring. I know we have a lot to talk about, but because of time, I'm going to cut it short. Now, I'm going to ask you a very sensitive question. How do I know my current financial plan is helping or hindering my purpose? Because I might be in stress. Maybe I'm in debt, I'm in confusion, and all those things. So how am I going to know my current finances, my plan is helping or is preventing me to get to my goals?
Okay, let me just say this here because all of us, no matter who you are, your guts, your body tells you things. I want to be very, very I don't want to start reading by the books. Oh, be this, be this. I want to be very practical and real here. Most times when you're making that right decision, even though it's not going at the pace that you want, you know you just know from your in see you see that God's mind that we have. Don't ever look down on it. Don't ever. There are times somebody brings an investment to you. There are times somebody bring an investment to you. You know that this thing is not leading, because you remember, if you were here earlier, I said it. Make sure you know where you're going. Your purpose is clear. Your goal is clear. So every other thing you're doing is walking you towards that purpose.
Your
You
why.
cannot tell me that. Yes, you cannot tell me that you want to set up an assisted living because you have a mind to help the elderly, and somebody comes to tell you that, hey, there's this investment idea that has to do
You
with
rush there.
yes, then you say, okay, this is where I'm going. No, no. I'm not saying don't diversify. I'm not saying don't have multiple streams. I'm not saying,
No.
but you know your purpose. You've not even achieved the one you set. Do you understand? And one thing again, you see all these shortcuts. Let us know that sometimes these shortcuts always lead to disaster. I'm telling you. Always. Don't make money quick. All these schemes that we have out there that they will say you can get money quick, you can put in 1,000, you can make 10,000. All those things lead to disaster. For anything that will build the future. For
People
anything
love
that will build
shortcuts.
yes, for anything that will build the future, you have to put in the work. There is no way around it.
There's no
The work can
shortcut,
either
guys.
be the work can either be your intellectual, that's you're reading, you're putting things together, you're trying to put the puzzles together. The work might be stepping out there, connecting. The work might be coming on TikTok and promoting. You have to put in the work. Nobody will tell you that, hey, just give me your 1,000.
If you're not putting the work, nothing happens. Nothing
And
happens.
yes, and there's
No
this
magic.
beautiful thing.
There's no magic.
No way, no magic. And there's this beautiful thing about the current time. There's this beautiful thing about the current time that we are in now. You can take some people's structure, tweak it a bit, and replicate it. You hear people saying they're doing digital marketing. If that aligns with your goal, you hear a lot of people coaching you. They've done it before. The only shortcut I will recommend, the only one, is going the path of, oh, there's a coach, there's a mentor. This person has created a system that works. Now, in my field of business, when a new agent comes into my team, we know how we have done it over the years. I gave you the blueprint. This is what we have done. It's just like somebody coming to me, say, Amy, I want to get my license. I want to practice. I want to do this. I tell you, this is how I studied. This is what I did. You don't need to do all those many. But if I don't tell you, you will go through round and I read in 2 days, I passed, I got my license. And a lot of people in the team have been replicating that. So you see, that is the only shortcut I recommend. But you see all those ones, cross your hand, bring the money, I will double it for you. Don't do that. Don't. Don't. Because you're looking at the future. We're looking at something that will last, something that will trickle down to generations.
Thank you so much, Emmy. I really appreciate your presence and what you have shared with us. Guys, do you have any question? It's time for question. If you have any question for Emmy, please ask. This is your time. Emmy, apart from TikTok, where else are you in? Are you in Facebook? Where else are you in the social media?
Okay, so let me say this. I am very okay. Let me say this. The type of business I do, we did a lot of word of mouth. I go to the mall. I try to, reach out to people. That's what I've done over the years. Now, you see, for Facebook, like I said before, I have a career path, but this is my passion. Like I said, most of us have the jobs we do and we're pursuing that purpose. So I cannot do some certain things. You get what I'm saying? I cannot put my face in some certain places. But the beautiful thing now, we see a lot of faceless marketing and all that is coming out that I'm embracing. So for now, I'm mainly on TikTok. TikTok is my main channel now. If you go search for me on Facebook and all that, what you'll be seeing there might be project manager, project marketing, all those project management things.
Professional
That's
stuff.
the job I do, yes. But on TikTok,
now this is your purpose. Finance is your purpose. When I got to talk to you, I found out it's not all about profession. It's about where your passion lies. And you told us a story about your mom and everything as she was the everything. So what happens when somebody who is providing everything is no longer there? What happens?
Yes.
That's what pushed you to do what you're doing. And we are happy to hear the story. So guys, even if Emmy is a professional in finance, her passion lies here, guys. This is not about career. It's about a purpose. That's why she's saying when you go to other social media, you will find professional. So the only thing purpose is doing here in TikTok. Am I correct?
Yes, I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. And another thing we have to understand that while we're working, this is not finance related, but I just wanted to say it. Because while we're out working towards our purpose and saying, let me get to my purpose, you can have a job. Do you understand? You can have a business model that you're working. But those things, that's not your destination. You know it. That, hey, I'm just doing this. I'm just doing this to ensure that the basic needs are there. Because I tell you, most times, you see that job, I don't think there's anybody that really gets to that height of finance, working for anybody that is not chasing their drive and purpose. That's just the truth, whether we like it or not.
When Emmy came to my live stream, thank you for sharing. When Emmy came to my live stream, she had never done a fast TikTok live. Is that true?
No. No, I've not. I've not gone on TikTok live. What I used to do was
I was able to see you and I was able to tell this person is amazing. But today, guys, there's some people who have been here for months, for years.
Thank you, Behavior Talks. She said, job is just over broke. I tell you, because sometimes even before the paycheck comes, oh my goodness. And that's when you see a lot of people, they want to do 2 jobs. You're like this.
You are doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs. When I began this program, I told people, do only 1 job. Don't do 2, 3. Because when you find your purpose, it will take care of you. But it's a journey. It's a journey. You have to make impact. You have to make impact. So thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate you. Guys, if you have not connected with her, connect with her. Do you have questions? I don't want to close if there is no question. Do you have any question, guys? If you have any question, feel free to open the mic if you're here. If you're down there, let us know. We can bring you up. I know these things are new to you, and so many people, they are scared when they hear about insurance and what have you. But I'm gonna bring Amy again. Work for yourself. Exactly, work for yourself. I'm going to bring Amy again so that we can expand more on this topic, because at least you have realized finance is not all about making money. It's all about being organized. It's all about your why, which is your purpose, and then you do the alignment. Then you practice. Let your kids, if you want your kids to learn from you, let them see your actions. So we have learned a lot, and I'm hoping everybody has learned a lot. Amy, if you have last words for us, you can share with us something that if somebody missed you and maybe they joined the live stream right now, something they can remember you about.
Okay, so I would say this, that because we're in a purpose-driven platform, I would say this: let your purpose always be before you. Always. That's the reason, your why. The why you're doing what you're doing. The why you're taking the steps you're taking. Let it always be before you. And when it comes to things like finance or anything at all, insurance, whatever it is, investments, do your own research. Think about what you need. Think about where you're going. And remember, when we talk about finance and investments, you're not thinking of the now. You're trying to take a little so that those little can take care of you tomorrow. You don't want to be 60, 65, 80 and you're trying to walk. You want to be able to start now, because I tell you, if there was one thing I wish, is that I started this journey earlier. I started the journey of saving for my future earlier. I started the journey of putting my resource in the right investment bucket earlier, because you're doing little steps today so that tomorrow, when you're running old and you cannot do a lot of things for yourself, you are not putting burdens on the children. You have even created that generational wealth. Remember, a good man leaves wealth and inheritance for their children. So whatever you are doing today, always think about what about tomorrow? How does this step help my tomorrow? How does this step bring me closer to my purpose? So that's all I just want to say to us. Thank you for having me, Coach. I am so, so grateful. And thank you for, being one of my encouragers on TikTok. And you said, oh, come on live, you can do it. I remember then I said, if I get on live and I see everybody's face, I don't want to talk, I'll start speaking in tongues. And somebody
now
said, hey.
You are going live like crazy, like you are doing even 2 hours.
Yeah, and Prof, it's easy for me to be able to go live because I have that purpose is there. I know what I'm looking at. And that's what
and that is what I saw in you. I knew you had a purpose, but I needed to find out exactly what you have, because I deal with professional. At the same time, I love the ones who have purpose. So, and when I came to your live stream, I was like, oh my goodness, you're doing your purpose. It's not like profession. It's a profession, yes, but at the same time, it's something you have passion with. And according to the story you have just shared, it proves it. It's able to prove it. So thank you so much, everyone. Lover Girl, thank you. Gracie, Faith Love, Miriam, Alpha, Mila Bear, Ben, thank you so much. Mama Mike, Rosie, I really appreciate you. J Money, I see you. Thank you. You joined the earlier live stream and you are here even right now. Behavior Talks, I appreciate you. I appreciate each one of you. Thank you for being here with us. It's time to say goodbye. and we'll be able to see you the next time.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.